State of Origin, the greatest game of all, but arguably a dead spot for NRL fantasy. Well, not anymore. Welcome back, guys. I've got an NRL fantasy State of Origin game to introduce to you. It's called SmartB, Smart Play, and basically it allows you to select your Origin side and check out fantasy scores all the way throughout. Now, the big thing here, only 25 registered for Origin so far, and 5 Origin jerseys going to the top scorers. I like those odds, but how are you feeling about them, Monty?
Oh, I'm pumped about it. I've already sent off my size to them, so I'm expecting the jersey Thursday morning at this rate. And honestly, I could pick every New South Welshman in this team, but the first player that I did pick, Latrell Mitchell. He's a weapon, Latrell. And
whoa. Well, Latrell Mitchell is just one player in the team. You're not going to deck your whole team out with New South Wales. You're going full Queensland. We're going for an easy win. Queensland have a great record in game one. You want to be backing Queenslanders for this. They're going to be heavy in the stats. Queensland's the way to go, guys.
Well, we've got Queensland represented with Turtle there, guys. We got Monty on the Blues side. I'm a Blue as well. I'm going to try to be a bit impartial in this one. But between the three of us, we're going to try to select a roster without tearing each other's heads off. So this should be a fun one. If you guys do want to play, by the way, it's SmartB, Smart Play. I'll pop the link in the description. You can join up as well. It's all free to play there to compete for those top 5 jerseys. So let's get into it. First up, backline here. So we've got the full back 5 spots. We can pick anyone for any position here. I've ranked them based on selection percentages, and the top 5 most popular guys are Zach Lomax, Dylan Edwards, Latrell Mitchell, Brian To'o, and Kalen Ponga. So 4 Blues and then the Queensland fullback. Let's start at the top. Actually, let's start with fullback here first. Let's figure that out. Dylan Edwards, Kalen Ponga. I'll throw to you, Monty. Are we getting one? Are we getting both? What are we thinking?
I mean, there is a case we do get both, but I'm leaning towards Edwards as he can get that boost if he does run over 200 plus meters. And Dylan Edwards in Origin, he can easily, he loves running the ball.
Oh, yeah.
And if he can get that boosted 10 extra points, I think there's no reason why you shouldn't pick him in your team.
Yeah, scoring is very similar to fantasy, but it's plus 10 for 200 meters plus run. So that's a big boost. He's guaranteed to get it. Turtle, do we go to Ponga as well here?
Yeah, so in my side, I'm definitely picking both. I think Dylan Edwards, easy 200 meters, easy 10 points extra. Can't go wrong with that. I think Kalen Ponga is going to try to step up this year. He got snubbed last year with Reece Walsh playing. Then also Fletcher Sharp had a really good performance last week as well. So this is Kalen Ponga's time to shine. There's no more excuses. He's got one of the best teams that you could field in NRL right now. So I expect him to step up here and maybe not get as much points as Dylan Edwards with the run meter bonus, but I expect the tackle break, the try assist, and all of that to come naturally with him.
Yeah, I think they're both great options as well. I think Ponga has a massive game in this one. So in a loss, by the way, I'll caveat that with, I think Ponga really steps up, and he'll be heroic in defeat. Then we go to the back line here, and look, that 200-meter bonus, right? I look at guys like Zach Lomax and Brian To'o, and I just feel like it's automatic here. But we've only got 3 backline spots left. So, we've got to fit Latrell Mitchell in there. And then, obviously, Turtles, you're going to want us to think about Val Holmes, Rob Toya, Hamaso, some of these other guys, which I'd rather ignore. But let's agree. Let's agree on the wingers here. Is it Lomax and To'o? Is it neither? Is it just one? What are we thinking?
You got to have at least one of them. And I'd lean towards To'o. He's done it before. I don't think he's ever gone backwards in a run. And I just think Brian To'o, for the upside with that 10 bonus points, I reckon he's a no-brainer.
Turtle, are you with us there?
I'm thinking To'o as well, but I'm thinking Xavier Coates as well. With Cam Munster in the team, Cam Munster kind of steps up during Origin and any big game like a grand final or something like that, given that he's at full strength. He's performed quite well over the past few weeks as well, so no one can doubt his form. And he just has that synergy with Xavier Coates where he's got that little chip kick over, Xavier Coates jumps over, and he's a aerial assault master. So Xavier Coates to get a couple of tries here, either line breaks as well, like maybe an intercept is going to run 100 meters in one go. I can picture it all happening. So Xavier Coates in for me as well, but I will pick up Brian To'o somewhere in the team just for the extra points.
So Xavier Coates is the lowest owned starter. He's actually lower owned than Campbell Graham right now, who's not even in the 17 yet, at 21%. So let's go Coates. I don't mind the pod there. And then we're going to have to choose between Zach Lomax and Zach Lomax and Latrell Mitchell here. It's a big decision. Look, from my side, I think Latrell has that massive attacking upside there, but Lomax, I think, is more stable. He's going to get his work done. He's going to get targeted in attack. They've got the two best kicking games in the comp with Mitch Moses and Nathan Cleary in here. So I think Lomax is going to get fed some ball. And I'm leaning Lomax and potentially anti-potting Latrell Mitchell. I don't know. Is it crazy, Monty?
Well, I mean, it's definitely not crazy. I watched the KO minis last week and the Momax. That's all it was. Yep. Moses kicks it up, and you know what's going to happen before the ball's reached its apex. You just know Lomax will get it. Like, Lomax has the attacking upside, but so does Latrell. I'm leaning towards Latrell just based off purely the fact of Rob Toya, and I think the Blues will be hammering their left edge to put pressure on Toya, but I feel like you can't go wrong with either.
Wow, okay, it's a bit of a tiebreaker here. Turtles, I think we have to pick a blue in this spot. I know you're going to say, let's pick Val Holmes, let's pick Rob Toya, Queensland.
No, I'm going to mention someone we haven't mentioned yet. We're forgetting the Hammer here. So the Hammer is going to come in. You got the 200-meter points. This guy's going to, is a sprinting master, line break specialist. Fins up, baby. We're going the whole way. He's going to score tries as well. So whatever he's lacking in any other stats department, he's going to make up in the run meters. He's going to go for that intercept try. Same thing as Coates, but he does it in a different way. So I'm throwing the Hammer in there.
I'm going to use my commissioner veto powers as the owner of the Casual Athlete and say we gave you Coates on the last one, Turtles. We gave you Coates there. To'o, Edwards, Ponga were all collective choices. So I'm going to give Monty Latrell on this one as a selfless.
Can we at least put the Hammer in our interchange a bit down? We'll get back to him later when we get to interchanges.
We can have a look at that. It's going to be tight.
We'll come back to the Hammer.
That starting spot, it's symbolic. I will say this team, by the way, would be lethal in real life. This is a beautiful combination team. Probably Ponga on the wing, I guess. But let's keep rolling through. So we go to the halves next, and this is a bit of a simpler question. So you got Nathan Cleary and Mitch Moses in the halves for the Blues. You've got Cherry Evans and Cam Munster in the halves for the Maroons. And then, Kurt Mann is on the extended bench there. And Connor Watson will play 20-odd minutes at hooker. So I think we're choosing between starting halves here. I'll start with, because I think we're going to have to, just to be fair, you guys tell me if you disagree, I think we're going to have to choose one from Queensland, one from New South Wales. Let's start with NSW, where all the points are going to be scored. The glory is going to be there. Cleary might lift the trophy before Moses does, but you don't get any points for that. That just happens when you're a New South Welsesman. Now, for the Blues, my heart says Mitch Moses as a heavily biased Parramatta fan. I'm going to throw to you, Monty, as a bit more of an objective Manly guy. What are you thinking here?
Oh, it's a tough question. I remember at the start of the year, it was like they're only going to pick one to play, and they've both been picked. And with all the talk around Cleary, hasn't done an Origin, I think this is it. I think he's going to – Panthers have been very poor, and I reckon Cleary steps up to show us why he is arguably will be one of the greatest players in our generation. So I think Cleary is a must-have.
Wow, Nathan Cleary. Turtle, are you on the same train there, or are you leaning another way?
You kind of prefaced that we had to pick one from each, but I would happily pick both Queenslanders here. Daly Cherry Evans and Munster, game one specialists. Both of them, if you're talking fantasy points, have topped the fantasy charts for the past 3 years for game one. And then now we're using a new halves combination from New South Wales, making me a little bit more skeptical, especially that they're both halfbacks and they're both the dominant playmaker for their respective teams. I don't know how that's going to go. So if I had to pick one, I'm going to pick Munster for the big game event. But ideally, I'm going to pick both Queenslanders.
Well, we'll get to Queensland. I'm making you pick one of these Blues, right? So which one do you think is going to beat up the least by Queensland? Is it Moses or Cleary?
Cleary. He's meant to be the dominant half. Yeah, Cleary.
All right. I think we're stuck with Cleary then. I'm outnumbered 2-1. So we'll chuck Cleary in there, but when Moses pops off, I'll be very angry at you guys. Because I reckon Moses is going to kill it. Saw him play against Newcastle, who's chasing a lot of those kicks and very involved in that sort of 6 role. I think we're going to see him clutch up. Now, for Queensland, look, you mentioned Munster there being that sort of clutch factor, Turtle. I'm probably on the same boat here. I love DCE as a fantasy prospect, but I think this is a game where if Munster doesn't rock up, they're going to get absolutely smashed. So I'm thinking Cam Munster right now. He's been in form as well. Are you on the same boat there? Are we finally going to agree on one?
I think we are finally going to agree. Cameron Munster, I mean, as a New South Welshman, he scares me.
Yep.
He missed all of last year, and I think it showed. And just Origin Munster, you just don't know what he's going to do. I was saying earlier, he's going to, he loves his little crab run to the left, hit a short ball, then Nanai straight through at the back. He's just so unpredictable. And as a New South Welshman, he's very scary. So I at least want to have a slice of the pie.
Yep.
And I'll pick him in my team.
And I will say, like, we're going to win. Seriously, I think our community can win all 5 of these jerseys, by the way, because I'm looking at this. Connor Watson is higher owned than Tree Evans and Munster. Like, we're about to wipe through here. If I don't see 5 photos of people in jerseys, 4 photos of people in jerseys, because I'm going to have the 5th one, I will be furious. Like, SmartB, Smart Play, link is in the description. Jump on and play with us. So we're on Cam Munster there. Let's keep rolling down the list here. We're going into the back row here. Now, back row includes the lock spot. It's second row and lock, so a little bit different to fantasy there. But for the back row, I'm going to go through some options here. Pat Carrigan, big role for Queensland. He's going to have to be big. Crichton and Martin, both on the edge back row spots. Question is which one gets a rest for Hudson Young. Connor Watson, I don't really consider, even though he's quite high ownership. Then we go through to Isaiah Yeo. A bit underrated, actually, when you look at this. Ruben Cotter, I think, is going to have a big part to play. And then Kurt Mann, Finifuyaki, Ola Kawatu's on the extended, so not considered. Jeremiah Nanai could be one we talk about as well. I think there's 3 slots here. So perhaps we each pick one. Monty, I'll throw to you first. Who is the player you're most confident is going to crush it in this game? Who's your boy?
The most confident is, I'd have to say, Isaiah Yeo. He's so hard to look past. And with this smart play, if you make 50-plus tackles, you get another 10 points. And I think Isaiah Yeo is honestly a really good option. He can score 50. You can score 50 tackles on any other week. And in Origin, there's just another reason why he can make and he should make 50 tackles. I think Isaiah Yeo will be a lock for me.
I think Turtle will agree with that, because if he's making 50 tackles, then Queensland have the ball and they might not get smashed. This one, Turtle, who are you taking with your spot? You got a couple of Queensland options here.
Paddy Carrigan. So if we get extra 10 points with the 200 metres gained, he's playing lock for Queensland, but this whole year he's playing prop for Broncos, and he's been running the ball hard. He's attacking the line. He's bending it. He's getting those post-contact meters. The meters are going to come easy for him. And he's also a big minute player for Origin as well, not just for Broncos. So the Queenslanders are going to rely on him. So he'll get his tackle stats as well. But I'm feeling he's going to get that 201 meters.
It's a pretty safe call from both of you. You both sort of go on the safe work rate guy. I think it's on me now to pick someone who is going to explode in a different way. I'm thinking about going with Liam Martin. And look, I know he's got next to no fantasy pedigree, right? So, guys like, Nanai is usually better, Cotter, Crichton, Watson, all these guys. But Liam Martin has Origin flowing through his blood. Like, he bleeds blue, this bloke. Scores a lot of tries in Origin as well, makes some big plays. Nathan Cleary's back there. Dylan Edwards is back there. Like, it's a very Penrith-centric side. So I'm going to take Martin with my 3rd slot and make a prediction that he is a big part of making some big play that wins the Blues this game. Now, front row forward. Let's tear into that. We've got 3 spots to fill as well. Let's talk about it more openly here, because this is a pretty open sort of selection. So Big Tino is a pretty clean one. Payne Haas isn't guaranteed to play. Harry Grant there, coming back from injury. The minutes aren't secure. Dearden will come off the bench. Connor Watson coming off the bench too. Barnett starting. Fodawaker on the bench. Reece Robson, very low ownership in spite of good Origin form. And then Otoka Manu potentially comes in and is the pod of all pods. What are we thinking here in Monty? I'll throw to you first. Do you think Payne Haas plays? And the issue is, if we record this, then post it in a couple of hours and it's been confirmed. Yeah. So right now we don't know. But do you think Payne Haas plays? And if he plays versus not plays, how do you think that affects the Blues rotations?
I think if he plays, he'll easy 50 minutes. I think you just need him on the park. And then if he doesn't play, like we've seen Barnett have that big minute role with the Warriors. Can he do it in Origin? Same with Stefano, although at Melbourne he's had a very little role. But then I wouldn't be surprised if they move Angus Crichton into the middle, as we've seen in previous Origin games towards the back end of it. But I think if Haas is playing, I feel like you gotta pick him. You gotta pick him. So
we're going Haas. Is that your pick?
yes, lock it in.
Big Payne Haas. All right. And then Turtles, I feel like you're going to talk about Tino, but give us a few Queensland options and why you like them.
If we're locking in Tino, because I think everyone's just going to pick Tino, whether you like New South Wales or Queensland, anyways.
Yep.
My third slot would go to Harry Grant. So a bit controversial here, but he hasn't really been performing in fantasy in clubland for the Storm. But for Queensland, he's going to be leaned on a lot because they're used to having Ben Hunt on the team. So look for Harry Grant for that little bit of creativity. He's mean in defense. He knows how to tackle well. Maybe not get the 200 meters, but I feel like he's just going to get attacking stats. So like Queensland, we have a proper forward pack this year, unlike last year where everyone was injured. This year, we're putting up a good team. It's going to be an easy game one victory, and expect Harry Grant to get a couple of tries this year.
I don't mind case because if Payne Haas didn't play, Queensland have the advantage in the forward pack as a result of that. Not a big advantage, but a very noticeable advantage. Monty, are you on the Harry Grant train here, or have you got someone else you'd argue for?
Yeah, I'm on the Harry Grant train here. I just think he's dangerous around the ruck, especially in Origin. He steps up, so I think Grant for me.
Harry Grant. Now let's talk about a few of these other options here before we go through to the bench, because you could make a case for Fodawaker. Coming off the bench, big impact. He's going to be a very important part of that forward rotation. You could make the case for Mitch Barnett here as well. So starting for the Blues, I expect pretty substantial minutes for him. And then, Toka Manu, if he comes in, does have some attacking upside, but he only comes in if Haas is out, and that's a big challenge there. If we lose Payne Haas, right, we will still have Tino. We'll still have Harry Grant. Where are we going with this next selection? Like, are we picking one of these Blues boys to step up, or what are we thinking here, Monty?
I mean, if Haas is out, I would Max King. Yep. I mean, on debut, it doesn't get any better than this.
Oh yeah, okay.
And I think he's done he's arguably been one of the best players in the Bulldogs over the last couple of years to get them where they are now. Yep. And I think he'll cement himself. I reckon he'll take this by the. He'll show Queensland who he really is. He's the king. He's the king.
Mate, huge call. I actually agree. If he sponges up some minutes, he's a machine. Turtle, if we lose Haas, do you want to go all Queensland with our middle forwards, or are you okay with Max King here?
For the front row forwards, we can also pick hooker as well. So I'll go Reece Robson. So he can play ridiculous minutes in Origin, which is unheard of because Origin is a different arena. It's high intensity. The players are all big, the front rows are all massive players. You're making all the tackles. But Reece Robson has proven last year that he can stand his own, play the big minutes, make 50 tackles. So if I had to pick another New South Wales guy outside of Haas, Reece Robson, because I feel like New South Wales is going to be tackling a lot because we're just going to have all the ball. We're going to be winning, scoring all the points, keep maintaining the ball.
Just a bit biased. All right, well, let's hope Haas plays. But if we get to that, I'll text you boys and we can make that last-minute adjustment. And then interchange is the last thing here. So we got 4 slots to fill with interchange. We can take anyone, really, for these slots. So I'm looking at this. I'll throw some names out there and we can sort of talk through it. But Lomax is here. We got Angus Crichton. Monty, you mentioned him maybe moving to the middle, a bit of that value. Val Holmes has clutched up in Origin before. We got Mitch Barnett here. We could go the debutant Rob Toyer, who is surprisingly popular in about half of teams. Stephen Crichton is a big game player under a bit of an injury cloud right now. DCE is easy to plug in. Ruben Cotter starting. He gets through work. Hudson Young off the bench, maybe a bit of strike, be a gamble. Robson we talked about, the big hammer there as well. Campbell Graham if he comes in. Atoka Manu, Nanai. There's a lot of options here. Or Maxi King, sneak him in. He's in only 17% of teams. Crazy. Lowest owned player is Tom Dearden in 7%. Does he have a part to play in this game? Or I guess Lindsay Collins, who's clutched up before. I threw a lot of names in there. Monty, I'll throw to you first because we've got 4 spots here. I think we picked one each, and then we have a big argument about the last one. Who are you cramming in here? Like, if it's a blue, is it Lomax? Is it Crichton? Is it one of these other boys, Barnett?
I mean, Lomax is the standout. His upside's nuclear, and I just think with Moses in the team, there's no reason why Moses isn't looking for Lomax every fifth tackle. So I think Lomax is in it for me.
Yeah, he's the most popular player in SmartB as well right now, actually. So yeah, we'll get him in. And then for you, Turtles, who are you cramming into this spot?
I'm putting the hammer. Like I wanted to put him in my starting side, but we filled that up too quickly with some New South Wales players, regretfully. But yeah, hammer in for me. Queensland, we've won the first game in the past 3 years. None of those were in Queensland. The two of them were in New South Wales. One was in Adelaide. And we're at Suncorp now. We have a full squad. There's no excuses, no injuries, nothing. Maybe Reece Walsh is in it. But Hammer's going to step up here. He's up against, I'm pretty sure, Lomax on that wing, but Hammer's at centre. But Lomax is known, notorious for having pretty bad defence. He rushes up. I can picture it now. He's going to rush up. Hammer's going to pass to the winger or just step in or do something and just get past Lomax. And everyone who's got Lomax is going to regret not picking up the Hammer here.
All right, well, we got the Hammer on our side now, so we got both there. I'm going to take a real pod with mine because that's what I'm looking for, right? A daily fantasy game like SmartB where you're just competing on one game, right? I want that jersey. It could shoot me in the foot, but Lindsay Collins down here at 14%. Hey, he's a guy who's clutched up in Origin before. Origin Collins, he's not talked about like Origin Latrell, but there's an Origin Collins, right? Could go up and take a few bombs for tries like he has in the past as well. So I'm going to push him into our bench here. Then we have one last spot. Boys, put your case forward. Who do you like in this last position?
Oh, I mean, when looking at it, it hates me to say this, but Ruben Cotter is as tough as nails. He's just going to do his job. He's done it in Origin before. He's going to tackle everything that moves. He's just going to pump it. And I just think that, for someone as tough as Cotter, it screams Origin. So I hate to say it as a New South Welshman, but Cotter's in it. Cotter's in.
Oh. Cotter. Oh, are you happy with Cotter, Turtles?
I'm very happy with Cotter, but I will throw out another suggestion, and it's actually from New South Wales. So this is under the premise that Payne Haas does not play. So if Payne Haas does not play, the next forward to come into the pack, I'm assuming, is probably Mitch Barnett. So for that last spot, probably Mitch Barnett. He's going to try to play bigger minutes. He's probably the fittest out of like Stefano Camano and Max King or Spencer Leniu. So expect him to pick up bigger role if Payne Haas is out.
You got an Origin Barnett. Well, look, let's go Cotter for now. I'm happy with the Cotter play because that's a bit of a pod, and then we can move to Barnett if we need to, if Haas is out. And that fills out our side. Now, the last thing to note here is the captaincy in this game is a bit different too. So you've got to set your captains, then hit submit team. But for captain, it's double points for your captain, 1.5x for your vice captain. So both matter. We've got a case to make here. I'm going to throw it to both of you in a second as well. I'll just talk through a few captain options here. I think Ponga for a big game would be a real pod captain. I don't think many people are going to do it because of how bad his form's been this year. I think he bounces back. You can make the case for, Dylan Edwards, a big game. You can make the case for Latrell as a captain option. Munster, Cleary are both clean options as well. I think Carrigan, Martin, Yeo are all worth considering. Haas, Arant, Tino are all worth considering. And if we wanted to go mad, we could go with the Hammer or Lomax or something too. Monty, I'll throw to you first. Who is your captain call?
My captain call, I could pick anyone. I could pick anyone in New South Wales, but I said him at the start of the video, Latrell Mitchell. I'm all aboard the Latrell Express, and I put my captain on him a couple minutes ago. I don't think about taking it off.
All right, Captain Latrell. Turtle, where are you leaning on this one?
Cam Munster, as I said before, Lomax on the left side, Cam Munster trying to exploit that defensive efficiencies of the Blues. Expect a lot of tries this year. Xavier Coates, Hammer, they're gonna run circles around them, and it's all going to be off the back of Cam Munster. So easy captain for me, probably a pod captain, but he's probably going to score easily over 100 points here for me. So it's going to be like 200 points if you double it.
That narrative you keep pushing about Lomax, man. I'm a Parramatta fan and a Blues fan. So I was thinking about agreeing with you, and then you stick the boot into Lomax again. So I'm going to have to go Captain Latrell and Vice Captain Munster for this one as impartial decision maker. But I think we've got a pretty mean roster here. Look, For us, there's a few antipods at play. So we don't have Gus Crichton in our side. We don't have, Reece Robson, a few of these other options. There's a few other forwards like Nanai, for example, could hurt us if he pops off, but this is a pretty clean roster here. Now, guys, last question before we do finish up. Your personal sides, are you going to make them particularly different to this? Like, Monty, is yours all blues? Is yours all maroons, Turtle?
I've got a couple blues and maroons in mind. I haven't gone with Ponga in my personal one.
Wow.
I think he's just going to continue his Knights form.
Okay, wow.
And I've got obviously I've got Max King and Nanai on my bench. I'm hoping for a bit of an upside play with Nanai and just a safe, solid score with King.
He's going to win that Blues jersey. And Turtle, for your side?
I only have 4 New South Wales players in my whole team. So that's Latrell, Yo, Cleary, Edwards. No, I'm going to win all. I'm going to win all 5 Queensland jerseys because it's going to be an easy Queensland win. I just feel like Queensland's going to win this one. Attacking stats are going to be off through the roof. Half the team's going to have 200 meters run. It's too easy. It's just too easy.
Oh, you boys are going to have to send me screenshots of your team so I can review these afterwards. But look, everyone at home as well, SmartB is the game. It's called Smart Play. The link is in the description of this video. I'll put it in the first comment there as well. Jump in, create your team, compete for those Origin jerseys. I think it's only 25 registered right now, so I think we can win 5 jerseys. There's 3 on this panel, and then 2 more to be given out after that. So jump on, guys. Awesome game. I'm absolutely loving it. And good luck with your State of Origin, guys. Peace out.